Hello everyone, this is Susan Stewart at Colorful Dimensions. Welcome. Come on in. Let's see what I'm up to today. And I think you're going to really like this. I'm in love with this. So let's get started. Turn you around over this way. Now I know that you're going to have a little bit of a trouble seeing what I'm doing. So just bear with me. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to come in and visit with me, see what I'm up to. And as you can see, I have not cleaned my desk since the last time I put up a video. I'm working on it. Doesn't look like it, but I am working on it. So, with that said, I have here a card base. I don't normally work with this size. This is 5.5 by 5.5 by Recollections, and I bought it at Michael's. It is 13.9 cms by 13.9 cms. It comes as a set of 40 with envelopes included, and it's pre-scored. This saves me from having to make my own. I'm a bit disappointed that it wasn't an actual full 6 inches, but I'll live with it. I pre-cut me a black mat here. This is by Essentials color block. It's solid dyed core paper, and I cut it down to 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Centimeters are unknown at this time. The normal size of the paper comes by 8.5 inches by 11 inches. And then I went ahead and cut down my card front. This is 110-pound white cardstock. I bought it at Walmart. It is cut down to 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Centimeters are unknown. Normal size for this sheet is 8.5 inches by 11 inches. I have a corner punch here that I bought at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to go ahead and round my corners right now. This just, I don't know. I think this will look a lot nicer with rounded corners today. I should have rounded them before I started videotaping because of the sound. And I'm going to try to make this video as quickly as I possibly can. My husband's projects aren't long enough today to keep him occupied, so I'm going to try to beat him before he comes back to the house. My corners were, I really should have done this before I started videotaping. Oh. Okay, I really didn't want to have to do that until at the last moment. but I guess I'm going to have to do it now. Pre-fold my card. Okay, put that away. Okay, there we have it. Now, I'm going to open that back up because the technique that I've learned from Maker Forte Hedgehog Hollow is that she prefers to mat her mat directly on the card base while the card base is open instead of closed. And it will look like so. Should. Anyway, let's get that out of the way. Done with that for now. Let's move on. I'm going to go ahead and tack my mat down because that can be drying as we are working on our card front. This is just Eileen's glue. I also picked this up at Walmart. You can also find it on Amazon. Now, I'm not going to use a whole lot, just enough to tack this paper down. I find that in the colder months that Eileen's tack glue kind of gets kind of thick and it doesn't like to it doesn't work real nice and smooth with such thin paper. It leaves kind of, oh, I'm gonna get glue on my card front. It kind of leaves bumpy. Kind of like what Elmer's glue does. It leaves thick lumps in the paper. Now, I really need to invest in getting a Teflon bone folder, but for now, great. I'm going to go ahead and use what I have. This came with the EK Tools score platform. I don't want to press too hard because if I press too hard, it leaves a glossy look from where I pressed. You know, most people aren't going to see on the back side of this paper anyway. But as you can see, you can tell though. Not bad. You can tell the lumps on the other side, but it's not real bad. It's just annoying. It doesn't, if you were doing this professionally, it doesn't look all that good. And I want it to look good. So eventually I will invest in getting some art glitter glue. this is the wrong time of the year to be getting it. But it's almost time to get some. Okay, we're going to leave that alone. I'm going to set it to the side. Now the next step is this is a Maker Forte 6x6 stencil set by Hedgehog Hollow, collaborated with Hedgehog Hollow, made by Maker Forte, which now Hedgehog Hollow owns Maker Forte. So maybe in the future these cards will look different. Get that out of the way. This stencil is called Heart Geode or Code Stencil Builder. Anyway, it is available at Maker Forte, Hedgehog Hollow. Now, I've already used this once. I sprayed the backside with Pixie spray by Maker Forte. Definitely read the instructions on this. Alright, now I'm going to take my card front and I'm going to put it on the stencil. And I want to make sure that I'm fairly straight. And I'm going to go ahead and tape this down to my desk, my work surface here. This is just blue painter's tape. You can get this at Walmart. You could probably find it on Amazon. I'm not sure about that. I should look. Now the tape in the center is just to help hold the die in place. The stencil in place. Now I have several colors of Distress, Tim Holtz Distress ink cubes, and I'm not sure which colors I want to use, but I have Worn Lipstick, Picked Raspberry, Abandoned Coral, Weathered Wood, Old Paper, Aged Mahogany, Candied Apple, and Wild Honey. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and pull this tape off, and I'm going to just lightly tack it to the edge there. Now the first one is this one here. I'm going to pull out. No, I've got it wrong. I had to think about this. Let's see. Color, gold, color, gold, color. Color, gold, color, gold. Color, gold, color, gold, color. No. I had it right. I'm going to take that piece out, set it aside. don't lose your pieces because you will need it later on. I think I'm going to try this candied apple first. And get some here on my blender brush. These are just little cheap blender brushes. My sis picked them up for me. It came as a set. Come in different sizes. And I'm just gonna blend that in there. Now, this technique is not mine. This technique belongs to Alexandra at Hedgehog Hollow, who's the representative for Maker Forte, and I couldn't exactly remember how she did hers. I tried to look for the video and couldn't find it, so I'm just guessing at how she did hers. So there's the candied apple. Now that piece that I took out, I want to go ahead and put that piece back in to help protect what I painted. And we're going to skip a cut stencil. Get here a baby wipe so I can wipe the stencil off as I go. Probably needed to retack my Pixie spray. Alright, so then the next one, we want to skip one and take out the next one. In other words, we're coloring every other slot. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tape those back down in place. Now, I don't want to have to constantly hold that in place. So I'm going to get me another piece of blue tape so I can just need a little piece of blue tape because I'm going to have to hold that the whole time. Kind of in a bit of a rush here. Just enough to tack it down. Now, the next color I think I'm going to pick for that one, I think I'm going to try this aged mahogany. I'm not too worried about contaminating my brush because I only use these for distress ink. I've only got one oxide. And it's the wrong color for this project. We're just going to brush that in there. make sure your tape isn't hanging over the edge of your stencil. It can prove to be a bit of a problem. Now I'm just going to keep gently blending that in. Now we're done with the mahogany, so I'm going to set that one aside. And that piece that we took out, I'm going to put that back in. Make sure I get it the right one. Alright, now we're going to take the baby wipe and I'm going to clean off my stencil. One, I don't like having ink on my fingers. Now my tape doesn't want to stick at all. And yeah, see? Ink on the fingers. Ew. Okay, that's should be tacky. Now we're going to skip one. Skip one and go out to the outer one. Now set that aside. I'm going to try this old paper. I know that's probably going to end up being a no-no, but I can't help myself. And instead of using the same one with the red on it, I think I'm going to go ahead and get a clean blender brush. Just because I have a larger area and I don't want to be putting red on a green. I have no clue as to how this is going to turn out. This is an all new experience here. Oop. Stay over there. One thing I need to do is make a sign that says, "Do not disturb, I am recording," and hang it across where my husband can see it so he doesn't holler, "Are you okay? Just checking on you." He can't handle it when I'm quiet and doing my own thing. Okay, now need to do the other side. I think I need to get a new cube of, how's it called this? Old paper. I've had it for a long time now. I'm thinking it's time to get a new one. I know, you can't see. Just hang on. Nope, nope, nope. We don't want you to slip. No, 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 no. Get back in there. Rats. Oh, doggone it. Alright. I think that we're pretty darn close to being done with this. So, I'm going to put that away. Now these other inks we're no longer going to need. Unless you're going to keep making card fronts. But I've only got one to work with right now. I should have went ahead and made more card fronts. Oh, come on, get down in there where you belong. Yeah. Okay. So, now we don't need the blender brushes anymore. We can set those aside. They will need to be cleaned. Alright, so then the next step would be to take out the one that you didn't color. The one that we colored, we want to keep the stencil over it to help protect it. You're going to need a Deco Foil Pen. Just this right here. And it's an adhesive pen. And it takes a little bit of effort to prime it. So you want to get a scratch piece of paper. And you want to make sure that I've already used this once, so it should be already primed. And it's got some stuff coming out. So we want to keep the stencil in that we colored. We want to take out the one that isn't colored. Set it aside. Oh, no, stay put. Got it. Now, we're going to use the Deco pen and we're going to put adhesive everywhere that isn't colored. And then we're going to let it dry. It didn't take very long to let it dry. I'm going to say just enough for it to be tacky. Now, it's kind of hard to tell where you've colored and where you haven't colored. Or I should say, it's kind of hard to tell where you put the Deco pen and where you haven't. So if you can look at it at an angle, you can kind of tell where you've put the adhesive, because the adhesive is kind of shiny. Ooh, definitely tacky. Alright, then we're going to take out the next. Take the tape off first. And take out the next one that isn't colored. This will be the last one, because the last place that isn't colored is on the outside of the heart, which you probably could put a little bit of Deco adhesive on the outside. I don't see why you couldn't. But for all purposes of trying to mimic what she was doing, we're just going to do the two that on the inside here. And that's kind of aggravating that my stencil slipped. Now my demo card that I made just like this, I gave it to my husband for Valentine's Day, and it turned out cute. So now that we have the adhesive in place, and it's somewhat drying, I'm going to go ahead and put these back in there. I'm going to run a fresh piece of tape across the top of it, just because it will be easier to put back in the plastic protective bag. You can wash this after using it, but because I went ahead and cleaned it off, yeah, it's wet, Susan. Because I went ahead and cleaned it off as I went along, I'm not too worried about washing it. Yeah, I'm going to dry it off so I can put the tape on it. Now we're going to go ahead and I do save my tape. I reuse my tape. I try not to waste it, even though I got plenty of it. Now we're going to go ahead and lift that. We're going to peel it off. Whoop, whoop. Very, very, very sticky from Pixie spray. When you go to wash your stencil, it has been recommended that, see, I'm going to have to add just a tad bit more in places where I missed it. It's recommended to go ahead and respray your stencil with Pixie spray. Just because it apparently washes off with soap and water. Oh, isn't that just aggravating? And I'm spending too much time dealing with it. Oh, yeah, okay. We're gonna set it aside and I'm gonna quit messing with it. I'll put it together later. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go back and put in some more adhesive, what appears where I've missed. This is the fun part. what? I think I'm going to go ahead and run a bead of that Deco Foil adhesive on the outside. Why not? It's only paper. Gotta have my own style. Gotta have my own flair. And we're never gonna know if it works or not unless I do it. So, we're gonna do it. Give it a few minutes to get tacky. Okay, I store mine sitting upright. There was no instructions on how to store it. Now, Deco Foil, which I should have cut a piece for this project ahead of time, but I forgot. Don't throw away your pieces of foil. You can reuse them. And she's got a video on that already, showing you how to use them. Now I want a piece just large enough to go across the top of that. Go ahead and cut just straight across there. Yeah, it helped cut in a straight line. I'm going to put this back in the foil. Now, I understand that there's several different kinds of foil, so you want to make sure that you're getting the Deco Foil iCraft by iCraft for paper or fabric. This is transfer, and it can be used as a toner foil, reactive foil, or a textile foil, or it can be used with adhesive and applications. So in other words, this can be used in a laminator as well, but you got to use it on special toner paper to make it work in the laminator, which I have a laminator now. I just don't have the special paper that needs to be used. Now, you want the shiny side up and the silver side down, and we're going to go ahead and put it on the top, and we're going to smooth this out. To smooth it out where there's no wrinkles. Okay, then we're going to get my Cuttlebug, and don't do the scissors anymore. Scissors away. And get the Cuttlebug. Now, You can use like a bone folder or a, something with a hard surface probably, and rub it on there, and it probably would work. But I'm going to go ahead and use my Cuddle Bug with the plates. Got my foil just a little too big. That's okay, we're going to make it work. The purpose is just to smush it together. And I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, that should do her. Come on. Take that out. We're done with the Cuddle Bug. So we can set that to the side. Oh yeah, come on. Set it to the side. Now this is the exciting part. Really exciting part. I really love this. I am hooked to the brim on Deco Foil and adhesive pens. I just love this. Oh, look at that. That turned out awesome. But you see that little spot right there? You know, if you don't like that spot right there, you know what you can do? You just go ahead and add you a little bit more adhesive. You take your foil, you lay it right back over the top. Doesn't have to be exact. We're not here for perfection today, but now look at that. See that? Isn't that awesome? That is so cute. And you know what else I've noticed? When you use Pixie spray on your stencil and you use this Deco Foil, the Deco Foil sticks to the Pixie spray that's been left onto the cardstock. Now, I don't know how long it'll last on there. I have, rubbed my finger over it to see if it'd rub off, and it hasn't rubbed off. But isn't that adorable? I just love this. But I want to add just a little bit more in here, kind of fill it in a little bit more, or maybe just leave it. I don't know. You can see that I kind of got overly excited right there. But I can live with it. Anyway, now don't throw your cast off away, because the cast off can also be used as a card front. But I don't have the special paper to do that just yet, so I'm going to go ahead and curl this up, save it for the time when I do have the special paper to make that card. And when I get the paper, you'll be the first to know how I make my card. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to do, blast it all. That's the only thing that bugs me about something like this is you gotta fiddle dink with the stencil to get it back together, to put it back in the palette protective doohickey thing. Come on, get back in there. Come on, be a good boy. Hello, Miss Lucy. How are you, Miss Lucy? Are you being a good girl? Don't mind me, that is one of my cats. And she thinks that when I'm in here, that she's got to be in here too. And she thinks that my primary job while I'm in here is to hold and pay attention to her. But she's a good girl. She stays out of stuff. And I'm spending too much time fiddle dinking with that stencil. You know what? I'm going to put it into this right now. Don't you dare. Stop. Alright, that's the way you're going to be about it. Fine. Alright. I don't want that tape to be hanging too much further over because it'll get hung up on the card that's inside the thing. Anyway, very annoying. Stop. Get in there. No, didn't say you could come apart. Ay, ay, ay. Come on now. Don't do that. Oh, for Pete's sake. It is hung up. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Look at that. Come undone. It's all messed up. You are not cooperating. Now, yesterday you went in there like you were supposed to. It probably doesn't matter that much that it's not exactly laying flat in there, but I don't want it to be warping on me, because then it's probably really going to be a pain to work with. Alright, now you are going to go in there whether you like it or not. Get in there. No. Mm-hmm. Nope. Nope. There. Where's that? Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to take some foam tape, double-sided foam tape. This came from Dollar General. And I'm just going to cut off a few squares to put on the back side. I just want enough to give it a little bit of height. I don't know what that stuff is. I really needed to clean off my desk. I bet that's my eraser from my other project. Alright. Put one in the middle. I'm probably overdoing it with my foam tape. Yeah, I'm going to have to do one on either side. And I want to use some thread, which I didn't leave my thread out. Oopsie. Oh, there it is. I found it. I thought I put it away, but I didn't. Next time I need to put it away. That's interesting. Where's the end of it? There it is. Now, I want to leave a tail just enough to be able to tie the front. So the rest of it we are going to wrap around. And we don't want this to be too tight because it'll warp your card. You want to wrap it around loosely. I didn't use that much thread on my husband's. So now I want to tie this off. You want to be careful when you're doing this because something I did notice that it doesn't take much to accidentally scratch that gold foil that you just laid down. I'm going to make sure that that isn't warping, because once I tie it on there, it's going to be a pain to loosen it back up. Now, see how tight that is? We want that to lay flat. So, I want to undo that and start and unwrap it and try to get it to lay a little looser. That's laying too tight. There we go. Just lay it on there loosely. Now this idea, wrapping the thread around the card, is not my idea either. This is a borrowed idea from Maremi small art. Talking to myself. Anyway, tie that all together. Exactly where I wanted to tie off, so we're going to go ahead and scoot it over. I'm going to put a bow on it. Cute little bow. And then we're going to cut the excess string off because we don't need that excess. Yeah, see? You see right there? It didn't take much to scratch it. Yeah, and I just made it worse. I don't know. Maybe if I got the special paper and heat laminated it, maybe it wouldn't be so easily scratched. It's still cute. It's just annoying. Okay. Now, get my card base. Move my thread out of the way. Hang my scissors up. At this point, in order to keep from scratching that front any further, I would go ahead and stamp your sentiment on the inside of your card now, before adding this card front. Because if you try to add your card front now, chances are you're going to scratch the front of your card that much more. Now, I went ahead and added a little gem. I'm going to go ahead and add that gem to the front of that. My packet of gems here. This packet of gems I picked up at Walmart. As you can see, I got quite a bit of them. And I really don't have a sentiment picked out for this card. Let's see. I need to use just a tad bit tiny piece of film because the last time I tried to add a gem, it didn't like me too much. Yay! So, I just need just a tiny bit of a foam ahead and trim. Of course, I would have to drop it down on the floor. You know what? We're just going to get another one. Don't worry about it. Get another one. But your time is more important than mine. So, I'll just get another one. Now, yeah, that stickiness on the back side of that gem will stick to everything but the one thing you want it to stick to. So there you have it. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach that card front. I'm going to do it. Yeah, see, I need to add foam on the front there, on the back, it's to help support that card. Plus it'll pop it up a little. And guess what? It is time for me to order new foam. Or get more foam. Alright. Take that off. And we're going to line that up first. Stand up for this. And there you have it. You could even add a sentiment on the front even, if you'd like. I really need to work on getting some Valentine sentiments. I don't have that many. But there you have it. Isn't that just adorable? And there you have it. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to spend with me. And we'll see you next time. Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And you can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I have my own blog page at wix.com. And See you later, guys. Bye.